Dr. Amanda Clark sat in front of her computer screen on the space station Kepler Prime. She had been working for 3 hours straight, looking through files in the Galactic archives. The archives were huge databases that contained information about every known planet in the galaxy. Amanda was a scientist who studied alien life forms, and she was very excited to have access to this information. Amanda was looking for data about animals from different worlds. She wanted to compare them to Earth's animals for her research. She had already found some interesting creatures from other planets, but nothing too surprising. Most alien animals seemed pretty normal compared to what she knew from Earth. She clicked on another folder and found something strange. The folder was labeled Apex Predator Classifications. Extreme caution required. Amanda felt curious. She had never seen such a serious warning on any other biological data. She clicked on the folder to open it. What she saw made her stop breathing. For a moment, the files were full of pictures and descriptions of Earth's animals. But these were not normal scientific descriptions. These looked like military threat assessments. Each animal had a danger rating, behavioral analysis, and combat capability reports. Amanda scrolled through the files with growing shock. House cats were listed as Class 7 biological weapons. Dogs were classified as Class 8 pack warfare units. Even rabbits had a warning label that said, Extreme reproductive warfare potential. She could not believe what she was reading. The files described common Earth animals as if they were the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. A simple house cat was described as having supernatural reflexes, silent movement capabilities, and psychological warfare instincts. The report on cats was longer than most military weapon manuals she had seen. Amanda called her colleague, Dr. Peter Johnson, who was working in the next room. Peter, you need to see this right now, she said into her communicator. Peter walked over and looked at Amanda's screen. What am I looking at? He asked. These are files about Earth's animals from the Galactic archives, Amanda said. But look at how they describe them. Peter read the screen for a few minutes. Then he laughed. This must be a translation error. No way aliens think our pets are weapons. But Amanda was not laughing. She had found more files, and they were all the same. Every Earth animal was classified as some kind of biological weapon. Even goldfish were listed as aquatic surveillance units with advanced sensory capabilities. Look at this, Amanda said, pointing to another file. This is about wolves. They classify them as Class 9 reality-defying apex predators. They say wolves have impossible pack coordination and supernatural hunting intelligence. Peter stopped laughing. That does sound pretty serious. Amanda kept looking through the files. She found something that made her heart race. There was a whole section about Earth itself. The planet was classified as Class Omega, Planetary Weapons Laboratory. The description said that Earth was a world that produces combat-optimized organisms at impossible rates, and the most dangerous biological development facility in known space. Peter, I think we need to tell someone about this, Amanda said. But Peter was now reading other files. He had found reports about first contact with humanity. Amanda, look at this. It says here that aliens knew about Earth for over 300 years before they made contact with us. Amanda looked at the file Peter was reading. It was titled Earth Containment Protocols. The file explained that the Galactic Council had been watching Earth for centuries. They had been afraid to make contact because of Earth's catastrophically dangerous ecosystem. The file said that most planets in the galaxy had very peaceful animals. Most alien worlds had creatures that were like Earth's sheep or deer. They had never seen anything like Earth's predators. The first alien scouts who saw Earth's wildlife had been so scared that they recommended avoiding the planet completely. Amanda, read more. The aliens had spent 200 years preparing for first contact with humans. They had created special protocols to make sure humans would never realize how dangerous their animals were. They were afraid that if humans knew the truth, they might use their animals as weapons. "This is incredible," Amanda said. "They were not protecting us from advanced technology. They were protecting themselves from our pets." Peter found another file that showed the aliens' first reaction to Earth's animals. The file contained reports from alien scientists who had watched Earth's nature documentaries. Many of them had needed medical treatment after seeing videos of lions hunting or sharks attacking. Some alien species had gone into shock just from watching a cat catch a mouse. Amanda realized why First Contact had been so carefully managed. The aliens had not been trying to help humanity join the galactic community. They had been trying to contain what they saw as the most dangerous world in the galaxy. She looked at her own pet pictures on her desk. There was a photo of her cat, Whiskers, sleeping in a sunny spot. According to the alien files, Whiskers was a Class 7 biological weapon with lethal combat capabilities. Amanda almost laughed, but then she remembered how Whiskers hunted birds in her backyard. Maybe the aliens were not wrong. "We need to be very careful about this information," Peter said. "If this is true, then everything we know about our place in the galaxy is wrong." Amanda nodded. She was starting to understand that humans had been living with the galaxy's most feared creatures their entire lives. Every pet owner, every farmer, every person who had ever seen a nature documentary had been surrounded by what aliens considered weapons of mass destruction. The discovery was bigger than anything they had imagined. Earth was not a primitive world that needed protection. It was a world so dangerous that advanced civilizations had been afraid to contact it for centuries. And humans had no idea. Dr. Lisa Martinez had been called to help Amanda and Peter understand the alien classification system. Lisa was an expert in comparing different types of life forms, and she was very good at understanding complex scientific data. When Amanda showed her the files from the Galactic Archives, Lisa could not believe what she was seeing. "This cannot be real," Lisa said as she looked at the first file. "They classify house cats as Class 7 weapons? That is the same level as the most feared predators from worlds that have conquered entire star systems." But as Lisa read more, she began to understand the alien logic. The files explained that cats were perfect killing machines with supernatural reflexes and silent movement capabilities. They described how cats could hunt prey much larger than themselves, and how they seemed to enjoy the process of hunting. "Look at this part," Lisa said, pointing to a section about cat behavior. "They say cats have psychological warfare capabilities because they play with their prey before killing it. They think this is a form of mental torture." Amanda looked at the file. The aliens had studied cat behavior very carefully. They were amazed that cats could be both deadly hunters and loving companions. They could not understand how humans had managed to live with such dangerous creatures and actually love them. Lisa found the file about dogs next. Dogs were classified as Class 8 because of their pack hunting algorithms and unbreakable loyalty bonds. The aliens were fascinated by how dogs could work together as a team and how they would die to protect their human families. They described dogs as superorganism military units, Lisa read. They say that no other species in the galaxy has successfully domesticated creatures with such high tactical intelligence. The file about dogs was very long. It described how dogs had different breeds for different purposes. Some breeds were for hunting, some for guarding, and some for tracking. The aliens saw this as evidence that humans had been breeding biological weapons for thousands of years. Lisa found more files about other Earth animals. Horses were classified as mobile weapons platforms because of their speed and strength. The aliens could not understand how humans had learned to ride such powerful creatures. They described horse and rider combinations as impossible biological mechanical fusion units. Even farm animals had high danger ratings. Cows were classified as biological resource weapons because they could produce food and materials, while also being dangerous if provoked. The aliens had never seen creatures that could be both useful and deadly. But the real shock came when Lisa found the files about Earth's wild animals. Great white sharks were rated Class 9, which meant reality-defying apex predators. The aliens described sharks as creatures that violate known biological constraints because they could detect electromagnetic signatures from miles away and had remained unchanged for millions of years. They think sharks are impossible, Lisa said. They cannot understand how a creature can be so perfectly designed for hunting. They say sharks have supernatural sensory capabilities and impossible survival optimization. Tigers and lions were classified as Class X, the highest level. The aliens described them as solitary weapons platforms, with capabilities that cannot be explained by normal evolutionary processes. They were amazed that such powerful predators could exist. On the same planet as humans, Lisa found files about smaller creatures too. Spiders were classified as biological engineering weapons because they could create silk stronger than steel and build complex traps. Ants were described as collective intelligence warfare units because they could work together to accomplish tasks that seemed impossible for such small creatures, even insects that humans considered. Pests were rated as dangerous weapons. Mosquitoes were classified as biological warfare delivery systems because they could carry diseases and find targets using heat and carbon dioxide detection. Bees were described as suicide warfare units with chemical weapon capabilities. The most shocking discovery was the overall rating for Earth's ecosystem. The planet was classified as Class Omega, which meant Galactic Extinction Event Level. The aliens described Earth as a planetary-scale weapons laboratory. That was, producing combat-optimized organisms at impossible efficiency rates. The file explained that Earth's constant evolutionary arms race had created a world where every creature was designed to survive in extremely dangerous conditions. The aliens had never seen a planet where predators and prey were locked in such intense competition. They think Earth is like a giant weapons factory, Lisa said. They believe that every animal on Earth has been shaped by millions of years of biological warfare. Lisa read more about how other planets compared to Earth. Most alien worlds had very peaceful ecosystems. Their animals were more like Earth's sheep, deer, or rabbits. They had never developed the kind of aggressive predators that Earth had. The aliens explained that most planets reached a point where one species became dominant, and then the evolutionary pressure stopped. But Earth was different. Humans had become the dominant species, but they had chosen to live alongside dangerous predators instead of eliminating them. This is the part they cannot understand, Lisa said. They think humans are either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid for choosing to live with so many dangerous creatures. Lisa found files that showed how other alien species had reacted to Earth's animals. Many species had gone into shock after watching Earth's nature documentaries. Some had needed medical treatment after seeing videos of predators hunting. A few species had declared Earth off limits to their citizens because the animal footage was too disturbing. The aliens had created special viewing protocols for Earth's nature content. They required warnings before showing any footage of Earth's animals. They had to prepare viewers psychologically before they could watch even basic animal behavior. They treat our nature documentaries like horror movies, Lisa said. They cannot understand how humans can watch animals hunting and find it educational instead of terrifying. As Lisa continued reading, she realized that the alien classification system was not just about individual animals. It was about Earth's entire approach to life. The aliens saw Earth as a world where every creature was a weapon, every ecosystem was a battlefield, and every species was locked in eternal warfare. but humans saw the same world as beautiful, natural, and peaceful. They kept the most dangerous creatures as pets, studied them as subjects of wonder, and protected them as precious parts of nature. Lisa understood now why the aliens had been so careful about first contact. They were not just dealing with another intelligent species. They were dealing with a species that had evolved alongside the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy, and somehow learned to love them. Captain Jake Morrison received an urgent message while his ship was docked at the diplomatic station. The message was from Ambassador Ziegthul, a representative of the ancient Vorthan Empire. The ambassador wanted to meet with Jake immediately. For a classified briefing about Earth's first contact history, Jake had never met Ambassador Ziegthul before, but he knew the Vorthans were one of the oldest and most respected species in the galaxy. If they wanted to talk about Earth's history, it must be important. The ambassador met Jake in a secure conference room. Ziegthul was a tall, thin creature with blue skin and large eyes. He seemed nervous, which was unusual for a Vorthan diplomat. "Captain Morrison, what I am about to tell you must remain classified," Ziegthul said. "Your species has been living with a lie for over 50 years. We need to tell you the truth about first contact." Jake sat down, wondering what could be so serious. "What lie, Ambassador?" Ziegthul activated a holographic display. "The truth is that we knew about Earth for over 300 years before we made contact with your species. We were watching you, studying you, and preparing for contact. But we were not preparing to help you join the galactic community. We were preparing to contain what we saw as the most dangerous world in known space." The hologram showed images of early alien scout ships observing Earth from a distance. Jake could see the fear in the alien crew members' faces as they watched footage of Earth's animals. "These are recordings from our first scout missions to Earth," Ziegthul explained. "What you are about to see shows why we delayed contact for so long." The first recording showed a Vorthan science team watching a nature documentary about house cats. The aliens were sitting in their ship, observing Earth's television broadcasts. When the documentary showed a cat hunting a mouse, the entire alien crew jumped back in terror. "Stop the recording," one of the aliens in the footage said. "That creature is too dangerous. We cannot show this to the Council." But the documentary continued. It showed cats playing, sleeping, and being petted by humans. The aliens watched in amazement as human children played with creatures they considered deadly weapons. "How did they survive?" another alien asked in the recording. "Those creatures could kill them at any moment." The recording showed more of the aliens' reactions. When the documentary showed a cat bringing a dead bird to its owner as a gift, several aliens became sick. They could not understand why humans would want to live with creatures that brought them dead animals. Ziegthul paused the recording. "This footage delayed first contact by 50 years. Our science teams could not understand how humans had survived on a planet with such dangerous creatures." The next recording showed alien reactions to footage of dogs. The aliens watched in horror as dogs chased balls, played with children, and obeyed human commands. They could not understand how humans had managed to control such powerful pack hunters. "Look at their coordination," one alien said in the recording. "They move as a single unit. They are military weapons disguised as companions." The recording showed a family dog protecting children from a stranger. The aliens watched as the dog positioned itself between the children and the threat, showing its teeth and growling. To the aliens, this looked like a biological weapon activating its defense systems. "The humans have weaponized loyalty," another alien said. "These creatures will die for their owners. No species in the galaxy has achieved such control over apex predators." Ziegthul showed Jake more recordings. The aliens had watched hours of Earth's nature documentaries, and each one had caused more fear and confusion. Footage of lions hunting, had caused several aliens to faint. Videos of sharks attacking had required medical teams to treat traumatized viewers. We had to create special viewing protocols, Zekthul explained. Our scientists could only watch Earth's nature content for a few minutes at a time. Many of them needed counseling after seeing your planet's ecosystem. The recording showed emergency meetings of the Galactic Council. Representatives from dozens of worlds debated what to do about Earth. Many species argued that Earth should be quarantined forever. Others suggested that humanity should be relocated to a safer world. The debate lasted for over 200 years, Zekthul said. We could not agree on how to handle a species that lived alongside such dangerous creatures, and somehow thrived. Jake watched recordings of the debates. Alien representatives spoke in fearful tones about Earth's biological weapons laboratory, an ecosystem of mass destruction. They described Earth as a planet where evolution had gone wrong, creating creatures that were too dangerous to exist. But some aliens had a different view. They were fascinated by humanity's relationship with dangerous animals. They wanted to study how humans had managed to domesticate creatures that other species considered impossible to control. There was a minority opinion, Zekthul said. Some of us believed that humans might be the key to understanding biological warfare. We thought you might be able to help us defend against threats from hostile worlds. The recording showed the final decision to make contact with humanity. The Council had voted to proceed, but only with extensive safety protocols. They would approach humans carefully, never mentioning the true nature of Earth's animals, and always maintaining the illusion that humanity's creatures were normal by galactic standards. We created the Earth Containment Protocols, Zekthul explained. These were guidelines for all species interacting with humans. We were forbidden from discussing comparative biology, mentioning Earth's unique ecosystem, or revealing that your animals were considered weapons. Jake learned that the aliens had spent decades preparing for first contact. They had studied human psychology, learned human languages, and developed strategies for keeping the truth hidden. They had even created fake biological data to show humans, making it seem like other worlds had similar animals. The first contact team was specially trained, Zekthul said. They were taught to never show fear around human animals, never ask questions about Earth's ecosystem, and never reveal that they found Earth's creatures terrifying. The recording showed the first contact team preparing for their mission. The aliens practiced interacting with images of Earth's animals, trying to overcome their natural fear responses. Many of them needed medication to control their anxiety. Several team members quit before the mission, Zekthul admitted. They could not handle the idea of being on a planet with such dangerous creatures. Jake watched footage of the actual first contact. The alien diplomats smiled and acted calm as they met with human representatives. But Jake could now see the fear in their eyes when they looked at the guard dogs or the pet cats in the meeting rooms. We were terrified the entire time, Zekthul said, but we managed to complete the mission without revealing our fear. We successfully made contact with humanity while keeping the truth about your world hidden. The briefing concluded with current footage from other worlds. Jake saw alien families with their pets, which looked like small, fluffy creatures that spent most of their time eating plants and sleeping. Their idea of a dangerous animal was something like Earth's hamster. Now you understand why we were so careful, Zekthul said. Your world is unlike anything else in the galaxy. You live with creatures that we consider weapons of mass destruction, and you treat them as family members. Jake realized that everything he thought he knew about humanity's place in the galaxy was wrong. Humans were not the primitive species that had been uplifted by advanced civilizations. They were the most dangerous species in known space, and they did not even know it. Dr. Rachel Stone was working late in her laboratory when Admiral Carl Porter contacted her. The Admiral was calling from the Human Defense Fleet headquarters, and he sounded very serious. "Dr. Stone, we need your help with a classified project." Admiral Porter said, "Can you come to the New Geneva Research Facility immediately?" Rachel was a behavioral scientist who studied how animals acted in different situations. She had worked with the military before, helping them understand how to use animals for search and rescue missions. But this request seemed different. Rachel arrived at New Geneva. Admiral Porter met her at the entrance. The facility was much larger than she expected, with multiple laboratories and testing areas. Everything looked very advanced and very secret. "Dr. Stone, what I am about to show you will change everything you think you know about Earth's animals," Admiral Porter said. "We have discovered that our pets and wildlife are actually the most effective weapons in the galaxy." Rachel thought. The Admiral was joking. "Sir, I do not understand. How can pets be weapons?" Admiral Porter led her to a briefing room where other scientists were waiting. On the wall were charts showing alien classification systems for Earth's animals. Rachel saw that house cats were rated as Class 7 biological weapons, the same level as the most feared predators from other worlds. "This is real," Admiral Porter said. "Aliens have been afraid of our animals for centuries. Now we need to find out if we can actually use them for defense." The first experiment was with house cats in zero gravity. Rachel watched as 3 cats were released into a large chamber that simulated space conditions. She expected the cats to be confused and helpless without gravity. Instead, the cats adapted within minutes. They used the walls, ceiling, and floating objects to move around the chamber with incredible skill. They could change direction instantly, stop and start without warning, and move in ways that seemed impossible. "Look at their reflexes," one of the technicians said. "They are reacting to movements we cannot even see. Their response time is faster than our best fighter pilots." Rachel watched as the cats played with floating toys in the chamber, but their play looked more like combat training. They were practicing attacks, defenses, and evasive maneuvers that would be devastating in a real fight. "Run the combat simulation," Admiral Porter ordered. Robot targets were released into the chamber. The cats immediately treated them as threats. They worked together without any training, coordinating their attacks and covering each other's movements. The robots were designed to be difficult targets, but the cats destroyed them all within minutes. "The simulation computers keep crashing," a technician reported. "They cannot process the tactical efficiency of the cats' attack patterns." The next experiment involved dogs. Rachel watched as a pack of German shepherds was placed in a simulated shipboarding scenario. The dogs had to navigate through a maze of corridors, find hidden enemies, and secure different areas. The results were incredible. The dogs moved through the ship like a professional military unit. They used hand signals from their handlers, coordinated their movements, and adapted to new situations instantly. They found hidden enemies that human soldiers had missed and secured areas faster than trained military teams. "They are not just following orders," Rachel observed. "They are thinking, planning, and making decisions as a group. This is not normal pack behavior." Admiral Porter showed Rachel recordings of the dogs' performance compared to elite military units from other worlds. The dogs outperformed every alien military force they had data on. Their combination of loyalty, intelligence, and physical abilities made them perfect soldiers. The experiments continued with other Earth animals. Horses were tested as cavalry units and performed better than any alien equivalent. Their speed, strength, and ability to work with human riders created combinations that alien military experts called impossible biological mechanical fusion units. But the most shocking experiments involved Earth's aquatic predators. Sharks were placed in zero-gravity water spheres to simulate space combat conditions. The results were beyond anything the scientists had expected. The sharks can detect electromagnetic signatures from incredible distances, Rachel reported. They are tracking our test ships from ranges that should be impossible for biological sensors. The sharks developed hunting patterns that military strategists could not counter. They used three-dimensional thinking that was perfect for space combat. Their attacks were so efficient that the computer simulations kept failing. They are not just hunting randomly, Admiral Porter observed. They are using advanced tactics that our best military minds cannot understand. The final experiment was the most disturbing. Rachel watched as a small group of Earth insects were released into a simulated alien ecosystem. The insects were supposed to be a control group, just to see how Earth's smallest creatures would react to alien environments. Within hours, the insects had not only survived, but had begun to dominate the alien ecosystem. They were eating alien plants, hunting alien creatures, and even building structures using alien materials. "Stop the experiment," Rachel ordered. "They are learning too fast." But it was too late. The insects had begun to examine the alien technology. In their environment, they were taking apart alien devices and seemed to be studying how they worked. Some of the insects were working together to rebuild the alien technology in new ways. "They are reverse engineering alien systems," a technician reported. "Earth insects are hacking alien technology." The experiment was terminated immediately. Rachel was amazed and terrified by what she had seen. Earth's insects, the creatures that humans considered pests, were able to understand and modify alien technology within hours of first contact. Admiral Porter reviewed all the experimental data. "Dr. Stone, these results prove that every animal on Earth has capabilities that exceed the best military forces in the galaxy. We have been living with biological weapons and treating them as pets." Rachel realized that humanity had been unconsciously training alongside the most effective military units in known space. Every dog owner had been working with an elite soldier. Every cat owner had been living with a perfect assassin. Every person who had ever watched nature documentaries had been studying military tactics. "The implications are staggering," Rachel said. "If aliens ever attack Earth, they will not just be fighting human military forces. They will be fighting every animal on the planet." Admiral Porter nodded. "And the animals will not even know they are fighting a war. They will just be protecting their territory and their human families." Rachel looked at the experimental data one more time. She saw that Earth's animals had capabilities that violated everything scientists thought they knew about biology. They could adapt to any environment, learn any skill, and defeat any enemy. "We need to be very careful about this information," Rachel warned. "If the galaxy learns that Earth's animals can be weaponized, it could start a war." But Admiral Porter had a different concern. "Dr. Stone, I do not think we are weaponizing Earth's animals. I think we are discovering that they have been weapons all along. We just never realized it." Rachel understood now why aliens had been so careful about first contact. They were not just dealing with another intelligent species. They were dealing with a world where every creature was a biological weapon, and the dominant species had no idea how dangerous their companions really were. The attack came without warning. Commander Steve Harris was working his regular shift aboard Luna Station when the alarm started blaring. Enemy ships had appeared near Earth, and they were not responding to communication attempts. "Sir, we have multiple contacts approaching Earth," his communications officer reported. "They are not using any known identification codes." Steve looked at the tactical display. Dozens of alien ships were moving toward Earth in attack formation. These were not the peaceful aliens that humanity had been working with for decades. These ships looked different, more aggressive, and they were heading straight for populated areas. "All stations, prepare for combat," Steve ordered. "Send the alert to Earth Defense Command." The attacking ships belonged to a group called the Purifiers. They were aliens who believed that Earth was too dangerous to exist. They had decided to destroy humanity's weapons laboratory before humans could learn to use their animals as weapons. Steve watched as the first wave of attackers approached Earth's orbital defenses. The human military was responding quickly, but they were outnumbered. The alien ships had advanced technology and superior firepower, but something strange was happening. The attack was not going as the aliens had planned. "Sir, the dolphins in the lunar colony are acting weird," one of his officers reported. "They started making alarm calls about 10 minutes ago, before we even detected the enemy ships." Steve was confused. "The dolphins? What do they have to do with anything?" The officer showed him the data. They were calling warnings to each other about something approaching from space. They somehow knew about the attack before our sensors detected it. Steve realized that the dolphins had sensed the alien ships before any human technology could detect them. Their natural abilities had given Earth's defenders extra time to prepare. On Earth, the invasion was facing unexpected resistance. The alien ground forces had landed in several major cities, expecting to find humans protected only by their military technology. Instead, they found something much more dangerous. The first alien soldiers to enter New York were confused by what they saw. Human soldiers were fighting alongside creatures that the aliens recognized as Class 7 and Class 8 biological weapons. The humans were using dogs, cats, and other animals as if they were trained military units. "The humans have weaponized their pets," one alien commander reported. "They are using biological weapons in combat." But the human soldiers were just fighting alongside their usual animal companions. Military units with service dogs, police officers with canine partners, and even civilians with their pets were all responding to the invasion. To the humans, they were just protecting their families and their animals. The aliens' advanced technology was designed to fight other high-tech military forces. Their shields could stop energy weapons and projectile attacks, but they had no defense against biological attacks. The alien soldiers could not understand how to fight against Earth's animals. Dogs could smell them through their cloaking devices. Cats could hear them moving through walls. Horses could sense their electromagnetic signatures from great distances. "Our stealth technology is useless," another alien commander reported. "The Earth creatures can detect us no matter what we do." The situation became worse for the aliens when Earth's wildlife joined the fight. The animals were not following human orders. They were just defending their territory from invaders, the same way they had been doing for millions of years. Birds attacked alien aircraft, using tactics that no alien pilot could predict. Wolves and other predators hunted alien soldiers in the forests. Even insects were causing problems, getting into alien equipment and disrupting their technology. Dr. Amanda Clark, who had discovered the truth about Earth's animals, was now serving as a military advisor. She watched the battle reports with amazement. "Admiral, the aliens cannot handle fighting against Earth's ecosystem," she reported. "Their military training is based on fighting other technology-based civilizations. They do not know how to fight against biological opponents." Admiral Porter was commanding the defense from his headquarters. "Dr. Clark, can we use this to our advantage?" Amanda had an idea. "Sir, what if we stop trying to keep the animals away from the battle zones? What if we let Earth's wildlife do what it does naturally?" The decision was made to open wildlife preserves and national parks near the invasion sites. The animals were not given orders or training. They were simply allowed to treat the alien invaders as they would treat any other threat to their territory. The results were devastating for the aliens. Lions and tigers attacked alien vehicles with power that could crush advanced armor. Bears destroyed alien equipment with strength that exceeded the aliens' calculations. Even smaller animals caused massive problems by getting into alien technology and disrupting it. The alien commander of the invasion fleet watched in horror as his forces were destroyed by creatures he had only seen in classified files. "Retreat," he ordered. "We cannot fight against an entire planet of biological weapons." But the retreat was not successful. Earth's aquatic predators had surrounded the alien ships trying to escape through the oceans. Sharks were attacking alien submarines using tactics that no alien military had ever encountered. "They are coordinating their attacks," the alien commander reported. "The sea creatures are working together to prevent our escape." The alien aircraft trying to flee were being attacked by birds that seemed to understand exactly how to damage their systems. The birds were not just flying randomly. They were targeting specific parts of the alien ships with precision that suggested military training. "The entire planet is fighting us," the alien commander realized. "Every creature on Earth is treating us as an enemy." The invasion failed within hours. The few alien survivors who managed to escape immediately broadcast warnings throughout the galaxy. Earth was even more dangerous than they had imagined. The planet's ecosystem had treated the invasion as just another environmental challenge to be overcome. Of the failed invasion spread quickly through the galaxy. Alien civilizations that had been watching Earth from a distance now understood that humanity was not just living with dangerous animals. They were living as part of the most effective military force in known space. The aftermath of the invasion changed everything. Humanity finally learned the truth about their world's place in the galaxy. They discovered that their pets, their wildlife, and their entire ecosystem had been protecting them for their entire existence. Dr. Amanda Clark sat in her office, writing her report about the invasion. Her cat, Whiskers, was sleeping on her desk next to her computer. She looked at Whiskers and smiled. "You are a Class 7 biological weapon," she said to the cat. "But you are also my friend." Whiskers opened one eye, looked at Amanda, and went back to sleep. The cat did not care about classifications or military ratings. He just cared about protecting his human and taking naps in sunny spots. Amanda realized that this was the key to understanding Earth's animals. They were not weapons in the traditional sense. They were protectors, companions, and family members who happened to have capabilities that exceeded anything else in the galaxy. The story ended with children playing in parks across Earth, surrounded by their pets and the local wildlife. They were laughing and having fun, completely unaware that they were protected by the most feared biological weapons in known space. The animals did not see themselves as weapons either. They were just living their lives, loving their human families, and doing what they had always done. They protected their territory, cared for their young, and treated the humans as part of their pack, pride, or family. Earth's animals had saved humanity not because they were weapons, but because they were home. And they would defend their home against any threat, no matter how advanced or how dangerous, because that was what families do.